The wild boar populations in Italy, Canada, and the United States are growing rapidly, creating wildlife population management challenges. In Italy, the number of wild boar has almost doubled over the past decade, reaching 1 million in 2022 from 500,000 in 2010. In Canada, the number has also increased from 100,000 in 2000 to more than 1 million in 2010. Meanwhile, in the United States, the wild boar population has increased from 10 million in 2000 to more than 25 million in 2022. The sudden increase in the wild boar populations in Italy is mainly due to the development of abandoned agricultural land, providing wild pigs with additional food sources and shelter. However, the increase in the wild boar populations also brings it many negative consequences. Wild boars are a pest to agriculture, livestock, and traffic in Italy. They often destroy crops by eating grass, grains, and other crops, causing great damage to the crop. Furthermore, the wild boars are also capable of attacking the livestock, especially the piglets, as well as causing traffic accidents when crossing the roads. According to the Italian farmers' organization Coldiretti, wild boars causes 100 million euros in damage each year to the agricultural sector in Italy. These damages include losses from crop damage, attack on livestock, and traffic accidents. Rural areas in Italy, especially in the central south, such as Lazio, Campania, and Puglia, suffer heavy losses from wild boar infestations, which poses a major challenge in managing wild boar populations and protecting the agricultural sector. Hunting wild boars in Italy is an important strategy used to control the population of this animal, done throughout the year. But subject to government regulations, it is effective in minimizing the invasive effects of wild boars. There are two main types of hunting practiced in Italy. The first is seasonal hunting, which is usually taking place from September to December, when wild boars are most active. This period allowed hunters to use a variety of means, such as hunting tools and traps, to confront the wild boar population. The second is government-planned hunting, which takes place in areas where wild boars causes the most damage. But before using hunting methods, the Italian farmers often take initial measures, such as planting plants that are not attractive to wild boars, using sturdy fences, and choosing fruit trees and vegetables that do not grow on the ground. However, these measures are not effective enough to control the wild boar populations. With cooperation between farmers and hunters, measures such as hunting, using traps, and sterilization are implemented to minimize the impact of wild boars. Among them, hunting is the main method, with about 100,000 wild boars captured by 2022, according to the Coldiretti organization. Night hunting of wild boars in Italy is an important activity aimed in controlling wild boar populations and minimizing the damage caused to agriculture and urban areas. This usually occurs mainly in rural areas, but also occurs in urban areas as well, where wild boars are infested. According to the Italian farmers' organization Coldiretti, the Central South region, especially Lazio, Campania, and Puglia, is where the most wild boars hunting events takes place. The region has the highest density of wild boars in Italy, and hunting is an essential management measure to control the wild boar population. The hunting process is often organized by groups of hunters, with a number of 5 to 10 people divided into small teams. Before starting, groups of hunters meet to plan, determine hunting areas, times, and safety measures. Using flashlights and thermal sights, hunters search for wild boars in the hunting area. When discovered, they will hunt with hunting tools. The hunt ends well when all wild boars have been destroyed. And then the pig carcasses are collected and brought back. However, wild boar hunting also carries risks and limitations. The wild boars often move near roads at night, increasing the risk of traffic accidents. Additionally, you can attack people if they feel threatened, and hunting gear can affect other wildlife such as wolves, bears, and deers. To minimize these limitations, compliance with safety regulations and countermeasures is important. Cooperation between hunters and farmers, as well as adoption of appropriate safety measures, will help ensuring that nocturnal wild boar hunting in Italy is effective and suitable. In addition to hunting, farmers and hunters also use traps to catch wild boars. The trapping process usually takes place during the day when wild boars are less active. Traps are placed in areas where wild boars frequently appear, such as forests, grasslands, and agricultural fields. The teams checks the traps regularly, and when captured wild boars are discovered, they are quickly harvested and removed. The process of trapping wild boars extends to both rural and urban areas. In rural areas, these traps will help in protecting the farmers' crops and property from harm by the wild boars. In urban areas, wild boars often enter residential areas, damaging property and crops, and traps helps preventing this. Wild boar trapping is an effective way to control the wild boar populations. However, it also faces challenges. While wild boars are capable of avoiding traps, sometimes it can catch other wild animals such as wolves, bears, and deers. To improve effectiveness, it is necessary to use modern traps and train trapping teams on how to set traps safely and avoid harming other animals. Collaboration and technical training are a key to optimizing results during wild boars trapping in Italy. In addition to hunting and trapping wild boars, Italian farmers are still researching other measures to deal with wild boars. Wild boars, with their omnivorous habits, can create many problems for people and farmers. To reduce wild boars' numbers and protect communities, there are a number of measures that can be taken. In reducing food sources for wild pigs, planting plants that are not attractive to them is an effective solution. Plants that are thorny or unappealing can significantly reduce wild boars' interest in these areas. In addition, regular garbage collection, especially in rural and suburban areas, is also an effective way to reduce food sources for these animals. Garbage is often an easily accessible food source, and removing it helps reduce the pressure from wild boars. New research and measures also being carried out to continuously improve wild boars management and control. So what are the exact measures that American farmers taking to deal with these invasive wild boar populations? Let's continue watching the rest of the video to know exactly what are these measures.
These approaches have been great at stopping the spread of some invasive species. Got any ideas for even better solutions? Drop your thoughts in the comments so we can all dive into it together. Thanks for sticking around and watching the whole video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And hey, be sure to tell your friends about us too so they can check it out. Bye and see you in the next video.